boy. YouTube star. Woo! Whoa! And it sounds like we're getting some thunder. Fantastic. Hey Pony Pals, it's Sky here with TSS Stables. And today we're going to be talking about a very important topic when it comes to horse care, especially in the summers here in Florida. Summers here are very brutal in Florida. It gets hot and it also gets very humid out here. Horses, they need help cooling down, especially after we have like a nice ride on them. They need some help with cooling down their internal body temperature. So there's going to be a couple parts to this video. Like I said, there's a couple steps that we do personally. We're going to talk about how to hose a horse down, what we can feed them to help replenish their electrolytes, just some preventative steps that we can take as equestrians so that we can keep our horses safe during these hot times. So come along with me if you want to learn a little bit more on how we handle heat in here in Florida. Okay guys, and here I am with my best buddy Ty. Ty is my 5-year-old thoroughbred and he is the best boy ever. So you can see right here I'm checking the temperature of the water. So the first thing, especially in Florida, the hoses actually heat up when they're left in the sun. So we want to make sure we run out all the hot water that is contained within the hose so that we're obviously hosing with cooler water and not such warm water. And here you can see Ty play with the water a little bit. Some of the horses like to lick the hose while they get hosed down, especially Ty, he really likes to play with it. And here you start to see me hosing his legs, so we always want to start with hosing their legs down so that they don't get what's something called shock. Shock is what happens when you put really cold water on a horse when they're pretty hot. Basically it shocks their system, and so we want to avoid that. So what I like to do, I like to hose down all 4 legs, make sure that they're well saturated before we start to move up and hose the rest of their bodies. So we start nice and on the legs, all 4 of them. Then we want to go to his chest and his neck. Ty's getting a little scratchy, he wants more water here. He absolutely loves playing with the water. He started getting a little bit wiggly there, so I had to move him back. And he ended up standing on the hose, so I had to move him even farther back. But here you see me, I'm starting to hose his back and everywhere else. So like I said, I slowly worked my way from the bottom up, so that way we could avoid shock. And I'm also working slowly on his back and his butt and his neck really to get off any of the sweat. You can see on his left hand side he was starting to get a little bit sweaty, so that's why I decided to hose him down. A nice cold hose. He actually wasn't ridden before, but it's just so humid and hot out in Florida that, you know, sometimes, especially, they start to sweat. So I just pulled him out of the paddock, making sure that I'm hosing him down and cold hosing. Just help him cool down a little bit. So I don't know if you guys saw there, but I got underneath his belly, making sure that I'm getting every part of him. Here I'm getting his back legs, and he's starting to get a little bit wiggly again. He was a pretty good boy, but you guys can see that he is starting to get a little bit wiggly, which I'm not super mad at. And I turned around and I went to the other side, and now I'm doing the same thing just on this side again, making sure that I get all the sweat. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is that you want to make sure you get underneath their tail. They do get pretty sweaty back there as well. So after I hose Ty, I'm pretty sure I hose another pony down, so I'll add that in next. And I'm going to leave you guys to enjoy some horse hosing ASMR.
In the darkness, I could feel her thinking about somebody else. Some old secret she keeps hidden high up on the shelf. It's all covered in dust, holding up some old book supposed to teach about heaven and hell. In the darkness, I could feel her thinking about somebody else. I hear country music playing in the background. Some old sweet melody about the life we lead, the love that we never found. I said I love you, honey, now, yeah. Just keep doing what comes natural in the heat of the night. And if we're lucky, that country music make everything alright. As the night wears on, I can feel her starting to get close, moving over to me through the memories that only the shadows on the ceiling know. The whiskey and the lies we keep telling, I hear a melody starting to take hold. As the night wears on, I can feel her starting to get close. I hear country music.
Hey Pony Pals, now we are back to it. So previously you just saw how we hose horses down to help them cool off. Now I'm gonna show you guys what other tools we use to keep them cool. Background right now, you probably see Sporty right there playing with our water trough. I'm filling it up now. I just got done cleaning it, so I'm gonna show you guys the process of how we clean that.
Whiskey and the lies we keep telling, I hear a melody starting to take hold. As the night wears on, I can feel her starting to get close. I hear country music playing in the background. Some old sweet melody about the life we lead, the love that we never found. I said I love you, I said honey, now, yeah. Just keep doing what comes natural in the heat of the night. If we're lucky, that country music make everything alright.
Okie dokie, now that one is all filled, I have 2 more paddocks to go, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean those as well. But I actually wanted to show you guys first this little fountain that we had gotten. It's for the water trough. It's to keep things flowing. It's to keep things flowing in the water trough so algae is less likely to develop. But it's really cool because Sasha's gonna come maybe test it out for us. We'll see what she thinks. It also just rained here, so. She's so unsure. She's like, why is it touching me? There you go, Sasha. Sasha's getting a nice drink out of the water. I was saying before, Sasha kindly interrupted us. This fountain thing is really neat. So it runs off of solar power. So if it charges, you know, in the water. So right now, if you see, its stream is about that high. But I'll show y'all. I'm gonna set y'all here. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see, but as you can see, the stream is about this high, but if I cover it, it goes down because it runs off of solar. So when it's exposed to sun, it goes high, and when you kind of cover it a little bit, give it shade, or it gets cloudy or anything, it gets lower and lower and lower. And then you let go, and it goes up like that. Anywho, I thought that was pretty neat. So yeah, I'm actually, I only have one for right now. And these guys, this is Sport, Sasha, and Bud's paddock. These guys probably are the most likely to leave it alone and not destroy it. But I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. I gotta clean the other 2 water troughs as well. Especially during summertime when temperatures rise. Things are definitely more likely to grow and water troughs get a little bit just more yucky quicker. That's what it looks like. That's my little scrub brush, but this is what it looks like outside. It's really cool. I don't know how durable it is or anything. I guess we're gonna find out though. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this water off. And then I gotta get to the boys' paddock as well. Pals, I just got finished up with cleaning all 3 water troughs and filling them all up. Fortunately, the fountain didn't work in either of the other water troughs since those water troughs are actually covered by shade. So like I said, it only works when it's exposed directly to sunlight because that's how it's powered. So it sounds like it's gonna be staying in the front paddock, which is honestly where I really wanted it anyway, because these guys are the ones that are most likely not to mess with it and eventually break it. So that's just another thing that horse ownership entails. Horses need access to clean, fresh water 24/7. So that's another thing for horse ownership, especially during the summertime. Honestly, all times of the year they need water. But summertime, they can get dehydrated just a little bit quicker. So we're gonna need to make sure that their waters are filled and ready all times of the day. And if they get too dirty, some horses are a little picky and they don't like to drink out of them. So not only do we need to make sure that the water troughs out in the paddocks are clean, but if you guys want to see what our barn looks like right now, go ahead and check out our first video ever posted. I'll go ahead and link it. In that video, I think I mentioned how I prefer to have buckets of water instead of automatic waterers. So some automatic waterers, you're able to track how much they drink, but a lot of them you're not. They just automatically replenish. So me personally, I like to dump and clean my just normal water buckets every day. So that way I can keep track of exactly how much each horse is drinking without playing such a guessing game. Next, I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about what else we do here at TSS Stables to keep our horses happy, healthy, and cool during the summer. So we're gonna talk a little bit about riding times. In Florida, summers are very hot. The hottest part of the day is roughly noon, so 12 o'clock to 4, we'll say. So my lessons personally, I have started ever since May. I've started implementing morning lessons and late afternoon evenings. This is because it is just way too hot to ride midday. Typically during the school year, I start teaching lessons at 3 p.m. During the summer, it's honestly just way too hot to ride at 3 p.m. So we've been starting lessons at 4:30 and later. That way we can keep the horses out of the sun as long as possible. Sasha decided to join me here. That way we can keep the horses out of the extreme heat. Now in Florida, unfortunately, it is going to be hot during the summer. Whether you ride in the morning, whether you ride in the late afternoon, evening, it's going to be a little bit warm. So we want to make sure that we give our horses a nice cool down, give them nice water. And one very important thing that we like to do here at TSS Stables is during those hot summer rides when your horse sweats a lot. When they sweat, they lose a lot of their electrolytes. So we like to replenish that. Sometimes my students here and myself, we like to give the horses Gatorade. Sasha's favorite flavor of Gatorade is blue, if you guys were wondering. Sasha's my 27-year-old mare. She's just grazing here. She's a great girl. She's pretty much retired. Every now and again, she'll do a little bit here and there, but she's pretty retired. But yeah, so Sasha loves blue. Sasha was my first horse, so I know her pretty well. She's now smacking me with her tail. Pretty much every horse likes the blue flavor. Some of them don't like orange, or a lot of them like the lemon lime, but a lot of them don't like orange. I think those are the 3 that we mainly use. We get those big powder. We can get them from Publix. You can get them from Amazon too, I'm pretty sure. Get those powder ones, that way you're not, because those bottles that are already pre-made are sometimes expensive. So we like to get the powder, mix a scoop in with a bunch of water to encourage them to not only replenish their electrolytes through that, but also get a nice good drink in, because, you know, if you mix it with a bunch of water, they're more likely to drink. I will say, some of my horses here are a little bit prima donnas. They only like to drink the Gatorade if it's a little bit more saturated than I like for them to drink. The main one is Sasha, this one back here, like I said, she's a little bit of a prima donna, but I let her get away with it. She's my old girl, so what am I really gonna do? Okay, I just moved Sasha out of the way. Now we have Buddy Boy in the background. So these are two, so Sasha, she's over here. We just saw her, and Bud, these are my two older horses. So, you know, if they happen to walk right by me when I'm talking, it's not the end of the world. Like I said, we like to give the horses electrolytes. Sasha's back. We like to give the horses electrolytes, whether that's Gatorade or whether that's, we buy this apple electrolyte, we give that in their feed sometimes. We also like to give the horses salt. They get salt every single day in their feed. Winter, summer, fall, spring, all the time. We like to give the horses salt because it helps encourage them to drink also. So hydration is super important during the summer. I cannot say it enough. So that reason is a thing leading up to my next thing that we do here at Triple S Stables. Here at Triple S, we always soak our horses' feed. So this is, I wouldn't say controversial, but a little bit controversial in the horse world. Thankfully here, I don't have that many horses and I wanted it that way. We have a pretty small herd here at Triple S, which is ideal for us in our situation right now. So I'm able to kind of customize each and every horse's needs individually, which I think is really important. But we like to soak their feed, so the horses get at least a cup of water in their feed. The horse's feed is soaked pretty well because for me personally, I just like to know that they've had some sort of hydration in them. It obviously doesn't provide as much as it would if the horse is drinking naturally, but it at least, Sasha, your tail is real in the way, girlfriend. So yeah, we like to soak their feed to make sure that there's at least a little bit of water in there. Like I said, so we feed salt, we feed electrolyte, we like to soak their feed as well. We also feed something called beet pulp. Beet pulp is very high in fiber. It's very good for the horse's hind gut as well. And me personally, so beet pulp soaks for like 8 hours before you serve it. So at least I soak mine for a really long time. So it kind of like absorbs any water that I put in the bucket. So that's another way that we like to keep the horses internal. So that is another way that we keep our horses hydrated internally. A couple more things that we can do to keep our horses not only hydrated, so we've kind of covered that, but also cool. So we give them baths, whether that's with soap or just a rinse down with water. We like to cold hose them after rides. We also hand walk them and hand graze them after rides so that their heart rate can also cool down as well. Additionally, we like to put them in front of fans. So my whole barn, every single stall has a fan. Their fans are on every single time they're in the stall. So normally at nighttime, I'll leave them on too. At nighttime, it gets a little bit sticky and I just like to leave them on to know. We don't use box fans. Box fans start fires. So we love to use our fans here. One more thing that I will say, and we don't do this all the time, but if you really want to make an ice cookie or ice pop for your horse, so what you're going to do, you're going to get an ice tray. You can either fill it with Gatorade or water is fine too. Sometimes the Gatorade makes it a little bit more palatable for the horse. You can do that. You can even do applesauce if you really wanted to. If you really want to get all fancy with it, you can grate some carrots or apples, whatever your horse prefers. Put that in the ice tray and then let it sit in the freezer for overnight or however long it takes to freeze. And then you can give that to the horse. Times I'll do this when I find myself having a little bit extra time, which is not very typical. But it is a really fun way if you happen to have extra time or it's a really hot day and you want to give your horse a nice cooling treat. That is definitely one I would do. We really value keeping our horses as hydrated as possible. If they're not hydrated, it can lead to severe issues. It can lead to your horse colicking from not being moist enough in their gut. It can lead to your horse even overheating and having a heat stroke or anything like that, which is also super severe. So like we like to say for humans, hydrate before you dihydrate is what I was always told. We like to do our very best to help our horses because our horses, they rely on us. So we like to do everything we can. Obviously, they're also our babies, so we want to keep them healthy and happy as well. Hey Pony Pals, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video about keeping ponies hydrated. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content and future videos. Thank you guys, see you later.